The internet is a vast repository of unsolved mysteries, but very few of them happen in broad daylight, right in front of high-definition security cameras. Usually people vanish in the dark woods or on lonely highways, leaving behind nothing but questions and cold trails for investigators to follow. But in the summer of 2014, a 28-year-old German man named Lars Mittank changed that narrative entirely, becoming the face of a modern digital mystery. His disappearance is often referred to as the most famous missing person case on YouTube, thanks to a few terrifying seconds of CCTV footage. The story begins normally enough. In June 2014, Lars traveled with a group of friends to the popular seaside resort of Golden Sands in Varna, Bulgaria. It was supposed to be a relaxing vacation filled with beaches, parties, and good memories before returning to his quiet life and job in Germany. For the first week, everything went exactly according to plan. Lars was described by his friends as relaxed, happy, and completely normal. But the turning point came on the night of July the 6th, when a seemingly minor disagreement at a local sports bar escalated into something much darker. Lars, a fan of the Werder Bremen football club, got into a heated verbal argument with a group of fans supporting a rival team, Bayern Munich. After leaving a restaurant later that night, Lars was allegedly attacked by 4 men hired by the fans he had argued with earlier. During the brief but violent altercation, Lars suffered a severe blow to the head, which resulted in a ruptured eardrum and a potentially bruised jaw. He visited a local doctor who prescribed an antibiotic called cefuroxime 500 to prevent any serious infection in his damaged ear. The doctor also gave him strict orders. He could not fly back to Germany with his friends. The changes in cabin pressure would permanently damage his hearing. Disappointed but understanding the medical risks, Lars told his friends to fly home without him on July 7th. He promised he would be fine for a few extra days. He booked a cheap room for one night at the Hotel Color in Varna, an inexpensive lodging located in a somewhat rough neighborhood away from the tourist resorts. This is the exact moment where the story of Lars Mittank takes a sharp, terrifying turn into deep paranoia and inexplicable behavior. Almost immediately after checking into the hotel, Lars began to act strangely. The security cameras caught him pacing the hallways, looking over his shoulder constantly. He was hiding in the elevator, staring out the windows, and behaving as if he were being hunted by an invisible enemy. Late that night, Lars made a frantic phone call to his mother back in Germany. His voice was trembling with absolute terror. He whispered to his mother that she needed to cancel his credit cards immediately. He claimed that people were trying to rob him, or worse, kill him. He told her he was hiding from 4 men. He asked her to wire him money via Western Union, sounding like a man running out of time. His mother, deeply panicked, tried to calm him down, but Lars was convinced that his life was in imminent danger. At one point in the night, he texted her a bizarre question. What is cefuroxime 500? He was suddenly suspicious of the medication the doctor had given him. Did he believe the antibiotics were actually a poison? Or was the medication itself causing a severe, reality-altering psychotic break? Hotel staff reported that he left the building at midnight, disappearing into the dark streets of Varna for several hours before returning near dawn. Where he went during those hours, and who he might have met, remains a completely unsolved piece of the puzzle. Finally, the sun rose on July 8th. It was the day Lars was scheduled to fly home. He called his mother one last time, telling her he was heading to the airport. He took a taxi to Varna Airport, and for a brief moment, it seemed like the nightmare was over. He walked into the airport terminal, carrying his backpack and a duffel bag, looking exhausted but physically unharmed. Lars went straight to the airport doctor's office to get final clearance to fly. The airport doctor, Dr. Kosta Kostov, later described Lars as nervous and erratic. He said the young man could not sit still and kept looking at the door. During the medical examination, the doctor assured Lars that his ear was fine and that he was perfectly safe to board the airplane. But then something completely unexpected happened. A construction worker employed by the airport for renovations walked into the doctor's office. The sight of this man triggered an absolute explosion of panic in Lars Mittank. It was as if his worst nightmare had just walked through the door. Lars leaped up from the examination chair. He shouted, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." Without warning, he left all of his belongings behind. His luggage, his passport, his wallet, and his phone were all abandoned on the doctor's floor. This is where the infamous CCTV footage begins. The cameras capture a man running for his life through the crowded airport terminal. He isn't just jogging, he is sprinting with the desperate energy of prey, escaping a predator. But when you look at the footage, no one is chasing him. The people in the airport turn and stare in confusion as Lars bursts through the sliding glass doors, exiting the safety of the terminal. He doesn't stop. He keeps running across the parking lot, his arms pumping wildly. The security cameras track him as he approaches the edge of the airport property. He reaches an 8-foot-tall barbed wire fence. With incredible adrenaline, Lars scales the fence effortlessly, dropping down on the other side into a dense, overgrown field of tall sunflowers. The camera loses him in the bright yellow and green foliage, and just like that, Lars Mittank vanished from the face of the earth. That was July 8, 2014. From that exact second, no confirmed sighting of Lars has ever been made again. He simply ceased to exist. The Bulgarian police, aided by German authorities, launched a massive search operation. They combed the sunflower fields, the nearby highways, and the local villages. Tracker dogs were brought in, but they lost his scent at the edge of the field. Helicopters scanned the area, but the tall crops provided a perfect hiding spot. Investigators were left with a pile of luggage, a panicked phone call, and a video clip that would soon go viral across the internet. The theories surrounding his disappearance are as vast as they are terrifying. What made a normal, healthy man run into the wilderness with nothing? The first and most medically grounded theory is a rare but severe reaction to the antibiotic cefuroxime. In very rare cases, this medication can cause acute psychosis, hallucinations, and extreme paranoia. Could a simple pill have broken his mind? Another medical theory focuses on the head injury he sustained. A concussion or a slow brain bleed can cause erratic behavior, confusion, and a complete loss of rational thought. Did his brain simply betray him? But there are those who believe Lars wasn't hallucinating at all. They believe the danger was entirely real. Could the men who assaulted him have followed him to the Hotel Color? Was someone actually waiting for him at the airport? The neighborhood around the hotel is known to have a high crime rate, including human trafficking. Did Lars witness something he shouldn't have during his midnight walk? Did he stumble into a criminal underworld that decided he had to disappear? His mother has never given up hope. She hired private investigators and appeared on television across Europe, begging for any information. Over the years, there have been hundreds of alleged sightings: a homeless man in Poland, a hitchhiker in Germany, a wandering soul in South America. But every single lead has turned out to be a dead end. The tragedy of Lars Mittank is amplified by the fact that he left everything behind. You cannot survive long in the modern world without money or an ID. If he is alive, he is living completely off the grid, perhaps suffering from permanent amnesia, not knowing who he is. But the harsh reality of the Bulgarian wilderness suggests a darker outcome. The area is filled with treacherous terrain and wild animals. Without food, water, or shelter, a man in a state of sheer panic wouldn't last long under the scorching summer sun. The internet has dissected the CCTV footage frame by frame, analyzing his body language, the direction of his gaze, the speed of his sprint. It is the ultimate digital ghost story. A man captured in high definition, running away from a nightmare that only he could see. We are left to wonder what went through his mind as he hid among the sunflowers. Did the panic subside? Did he realize he was alone? Or did the shadows in his mind finally catch up to him, pulling him into a darkness from which he could never return? We have the beginning, we have the climax, but the resolution has been stolen from us, locked away in a field in Eastern Europe. His story is a chilling reminder of how fragile the human mind can be, and how quickly a normal life can spiral into absolute chaos. One moment you are enjoying a vacation with friends, and the next you are sprinting away from your identity, leaving your entire existence on a doctor's floor. As years turn into decades, the hope of finding Lars alive continues to fade, but the search for answers will never truly stop. The mystery of Lars Mittank remains wide open, a haunting loop of footage playing endlessly on the screens of those who refuse to forget. Thank you for exploring the unknown archive. If you see someone running, ask yourself, what are they running from?